Start streaming the live event.
Oh god, I have anxiety. We're live.
Is it working?
Yeah, we're live.
How do we know if it was working or not?
4 seconds streaming.
Maybe if we go here. Would this work? Let me go back to this. Oh my god, I'm messing everything up.
It's off stream. It's offline. You gotta.
Oh, this is live now. If you can see us, we're sorry. We don't know what we're doing. Hold on.
Oh,
Oh
shit.
no. Yeah, but now we're watching ourselves. Hold on. 1 second. Oh, here we go. Here we go.
No, we're on. It's
Alright.
just like super delayed.
Alright, we're good. Alright, sorry. We have no idea how this thing works, and we tried it a different way by like scheduling an event, and
Voice is a little muted.
can you hear us now? Oh, this is live now. Let me turn it up. Let me turn it up. If you can see us, we're sorry. We don't know what we're doing. Hold on. Okay, we're just gonna get going. Oh no, yeah, but now we're watching ourselves.
What?
Let us know what happens. We're like a minute ahead, so just let us know what happens, I guess. So we're still we're still in San Diego.
We are still in San Diego.
And hold on, let me do this. Okay, there we go. It's better. So we're still in San Diego. We actually just got back from Mexico, so we went 2 days down to Mexico, and and we went to Tijuana.
Don't ever go there. Just don't.
Do you want to talk about it?
It was a shithole.
It was the best way that. I mean, it's just like when we tried to like take the best from it that we could, and as for Kaylee, like I could understand why she wouldn't like it there. For me, like all I kept thinking was like it was basically just like a really rundown city, which was really surprising. Which was really surprising because it's like one of the most visited cities by people in California and by people in the United States. So Tijuana is like the first city like right over the border. And we went there, and it was like really run down. Everyone was telling us to be like really safe. They said don't walk anywhere, take an Uber and taxi everywhere you go, and it was really surprising. I guess there's like some nice areas, like some surf areas, but Kaylee was definitely uncomfortable a lot of the time. Yeah, I don't know. How'd you feel when you were there?
It was alright. We ended up going there because we got a really cheap hotel for like $100 for
4 people.
A 5-star hotel for 4 people.
And it was a casino and resort, except for the casino and the resort part closed 2 years ago. So it was really just a hotel.
We made the best of it. We went and got some bomb-ass tacos and some margaritas.
Yeah.
And that was pretty much it. But
yeah.
I wouldn't recommend it to anybody.
There's definitely, like, we heard, like, there's a lot of nicer parts, like Rosarito, and, like, I guess we wish we, like, went to some other parts.
Yeah,
but...
no, we only got a small taste of Baja California. We literally just went over the border, like, 45 minutes. It was 45 minutes from San Diego, so, like, we really didn't see Baja at all. We just went because it was convenient, and...
We wanted to go to Mexico, but, like, we didn't have that much time. So, like, we put Lola in, like, we brought Lola to... What was it called?
It was just like a little overnight daycare place. It was really nice. It was like $30 a night in San Diego.
Yeah. So we basically had like 24 hours in Mexico. And like, sorry, anytime we try to do anything important, like Lola has to like act up because like she wants all the attention. So you can see.
Just being a little shithead.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
wait, am I not allowed to swear?
I don't know. So anyways, yeah, basically our trip to Mexico was like kind of eye-opening. Like, kind of what we took away from it was like the fact that well over half the world lived like the people do in Mexico or worse, or not Mexico, I guess Tijuana.
No.
The fact that they lived like that or worse was like so eye-opening, and like I guess like our takeaway was like how fortunate we are after like seeing that, and after like seeing a really rundown city that's 15 miles from the U.S. border.
Come on, I gotta do something with this dog.
Come here. She's gonna be all right. Sit. There you go. All right, we have a ton of. So this is supposed to be a Q&A. We want to kind of just give a couple minutes for everyone to come on. But we want to answer some questions. We've never done this before, so we're still kind of trying to figure it out. So I guess we'll start.
Jordan's mom.
I guess we'll start the Q&A. So I guess the first.
Bad swearing? Really?
Bad swearing. Yeah, you swear.
Sorry, this is just who I am.
Yeah. All right, so we answered this in a video, but we can talk about it. What's it like for your relationship being such a confined space with limited time spent with people other than each other? Lola.
I mean, it's not really just two of us. We have Lola.
Yeah. She's acting up. Like, honestly, anytime we, like, talk to anyone or need to do anything important, she, like, knows it's time to, like, interrupt it, and she's just being a little maniac right now. What do you want to say about that?
I mean, it's definitely not for everybody. And, you know, going into this, Jordan and I we technically weren't living together. Jordan was living in Boston and I was working in Boston. I was still living at home. So, we weren't living together, but we spent most of the time sleeping there in Boston. And so we got kind of a taste of it, but not really. So, like, within the first month, you know, it's the first month that's the hardest to adjust to and kind of get used to, because you're really getting a taste for it. Like, boom, it's just like it's just day and night from going from, you know, seeing each other and kind of living together, but you're on complete different schedules. You know, you're working, you're still seeing your friends and your family. You're not with each other 24/7. So, it's good and bad.
Yeah.
I'd say.
I mean, we know everything about each other at this point. We know everything. There's nothing that, like, there's, like, no more surprises. Like, you kind of have to be, like, totally transparent with each other. Yeah. And, I mean, in the beginning, like, like, the first 2 weeks, it was, like, paradise. It was like, oh my god, like, this is amazing. And then everything kind of settles in. And then for, like, a little bit, we, like, argued for a while. But it was never, like, bad. It was never, like, really bad. It was just, like, every little thing that you do affects the other person. Yeah. So, like, Kaylee's phone's, like, here. And if she leaves it out in, like, 6 other things, it's, like, a mess in here. And, like, that might get to me. But it's, like, if I need to, I don't know, if I need to, like, if I want to go to the grocery store to say, or if I want to go to the beach, then that affects her. Or, like, if I want to, anything that I want to do is ultimately going to affect her, and anything she wants to do is going to affect me. So right. you just got to learn to...
It's compromising, obviously, in any relationship, but to the max.
Yeah, you just got to learn to compromise. Yeah. So, anyways.
Next question.
This is a really good one. What would you say to younger people, say ages 13 to 17, who want to pursue van life?
Wow, that's young.
Yeah.
How do you drive?
Well, I guess if you're 16 and 17, you could.
Yeah, it's true, but 13?
But if they want to. So if they want to in the future.
Yeah.
We did a video about this too, and what we said and what I will say is there's kind of like 3 criteria. So I forget exactly. You have to have the money to do it.
It has to be the right time in your life.
It has to be the right time in your life to do it. And what was the third one that we said? Money, time. Oh, and you have to just have a passion for traveling, and you have to want to travel the United States. And if you have those 3 things...
Or wherever you are. Wherever you are. Yeah.
If you have those 3 things, we said, do it. And, like, don't hesitate on it. Just, if you can fill, like, those 3 criteria, which makes it hard for someone who's, like, 18 or, like, before they go to college, because the van takes a lot of money to build, and you have to have some money set aside for when you go. So what we did is I went to college. I graduated from college in 2014, and then I worked for 3 years. And Kaylee's been working for, I don't know, like 3 years. How long were you working for? Like full time? 3 years?
Like 4.
4 years.
Yeah.
So we worked and we saved our money, and yeah, that's what allowed us to do this. But that's what would make it harder for someone who's 17 or younger, is you have to be expecting to save your money. Obviously, like like I don't even want to really get into the whole college thing, because I think that's a whole nother thing. But I think, like, the other big thing is, like, being at a time in your life when you can do it. Yeah. So
there's so many things to take into consideration, and it's like
giving up your job. Like, if you have a job where you're making good money, like walking away from that's a really hard thing to do.
Right.
For me, I got laid off, so it was like now is the time to do this,
Yeah.
and like everything lined up. I also owned a condo in Boston, and it just so happened that I owned it with my brother, and it just so happened that my brother's girlfriend was looking for a place to live, and like they want to live together, so it just worked, and like everything in our lives just like lined up for this moment. It was like we had to do it, because it was something we've been talking about for a while. So, yeah. Anybody else want to say that?
No, I think you got it.
Okay. Gotta back off the word like. Yeah, I know. Do you have a set time
Apart during the day to keep
from knowing each other? We
No.
try to. We try to. Like we'll like try to go for a run, or like I don't know. We try to do something.
Well, we've been in San Diego, and Jordan's best buddy lives here. So I don't know, maybe like 3 or 4 nights he's gone and done his own thing, and I just stayed in the bus and Netflix and chilled by myself.
We try to. Yeah, we try to.
Any tips for designing a floor plan for your van?
Oh God.
There's so many.
Any tips for designing a point? Do as much research as you can possibly do, and when you think you know everything, do like twice the amount, because there's so much info, and like there's a lot of things I wish I could go back and do. We did everything ourselves. Like we didn't bring in any plumbers, any electricians, any carpenters. We did it all, and I would highly recommend doing as much as you can, if not all of it, because things will break while you travel. Things will go wrong, no doubt. So if you don't know how it was built, then you don't know how to fix it. And I'll give you an example. While we were in San Diego, we were having some I thought we were having electrical issues. So I got up my voltmeter and I was going around and I tested a few spots and ultimately determined that we just drained our battery. And there was no like bad connections, and there was nothing wrong with our battery, and there's nothing wrong with our solar panels. And if you don't know that, and if you don't know how things are set up, then you're gonna have a tough time. So, but for designing floor plans, I would look at other YouTubers. YouTube was a huge tool for me. I actually use this guy. I bought his ebook. His name's Nate Murphy, and he's a British guy. And I did a lot of stuff based off what he did. So he's a good resource. I think his video is like 7 million views, and it was really helpful for us. So, anything else you want to say for that? No. All right, go ahead.
How long did you guys know each other before you decided to live in a van together? We knew each other maybe like a few months before we started dating, and then we dated for, was it like a year?
No, it was a little bit more than that.
A little over a year. It was like a year and a few months. Oh, a year and a half.
Before we moved in the van?
Before we moved in the van.
It was a year and like 8 months.
Yeah.
It's like a year and 8 months.
Yeah.
Is the answer. After having a stomach bug, have you considered making a restroom? No.
Nah.
No. I don't want to have running water in here. I've seen people's builds just get destroyed with running water from like freezing pipes or a leaking pipe. And we have a hand pump and like just have water in our sink. And I just don't want to carry a black water tank. So you have to carry all your waste until you have a place to dump it. And then it just like adds a whole nother dynamic. And while like being sick really sucked, we figured it out. It wasn't that bad. The being sick part sucked, but
yeah, that was brutal.
I mean, we've seen some people with bathrooms. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it would be super nice, but it's not realistic. And we've kind of just faced the fact that it's not realistic, and this is what we're living with now. So you make it work. And I mean, as bad as it was only 24 hours, and it was gone, and we haven't really had issues with going to the bathroom. You figure it out and you make it work. And it's not like we're gonna be getting sick, every month. So it's it was one of those things that just hit us. Neither of us have been sick for like that in years. It just so happened. But no, I mean, we're totally cool with just doing with what we got.
Something else I've also noticed, and maybe it's just a few that we've seen, now, being in van life and traveling around, anyone else who has a conversion, you end up hanging out with and you end up chilling with. And some of the people that we've seen, it just has this very faint smell to it, and I just wouldn't want to deal with it. I just wouldn't want to deal with that. we also don't have the room in here. There's just like we don't have enough space.
Right.
But I mean, I think we're really happy with our build. I think one more thing that kind of goes back to the last question is, so we would have really had to have like a bigger vehicle to have a bathroom in here. And the bigger the vehicle is, the less ability you have to like stealth camp and adventure and like go to all the places you want to go. There's like so many places that like we're parked right now on the side of the street in San Diego. And if we had like a full bus, there's no way that this would be possible. And like we parked in a parking lot, like our bus fits right into a parking lot. So that's another thing when you're looking at floor plans is the size of the vehicle is the most important thing. So maybe we'll make a video about that because that's pretty big.
Yeah, it is for sure. There's some more if you scroll up. Let's see.
Video on solar setup. Yeah, we can do it. We did one. We kind of like drew out like a whole map of our solar setup.
You know what that one's called? Do you remember?
It was, no, it's Van Life Problems, I think it is. Yeah, so it was Van Life Problems. So if you go to the Van Life Problems video, we like drew out a whole schematic, and it's all in there. Have you weighed the bus, and do you know your miles per gallon? We haven't weighed the bus, but the miles per gallon is...
It's like -5.
It's 12. We get 12 miles a gallon, and that's the big polarizing thing between the Sprinter vans. So a lot of people get the Sprinter vans. They're more expensive, but they get about double the gas mileage as we're getting. I want to weigh the bus. I just haven't done it yet.
Slandry's on here.
Hell yeah.
Oh, I miss you, girl.
You guys ever planning to come to Canada? Yeah, we wanted to be in. So for those of you that are like donating money, like thank you, but
how do you even do that? That's a thing on here.
I don't know. It's not what we were expecting, but thank you. And
Jesus.
I guess any money that you guys donate, we'll put towards our homeless initiative that we're doing to feed the homeless. So I mean, thank you. I wasn't expecting that. But what were we just talking about? Oh, Canada. So our original plan was to go to Canada, and we wanted to go to Banff so bad, and Jasper and Vancouver.
Yeah.
And then like disaster happened. You want to talk about that?
Yeah. So we were in Montana when we had the ranch hand jobs, and we had known already that there was horrible forest fires there, because in the town that we were staying at, it was really bad. So our plan, we were still planning on going up to Glacier. We wanted to go, and our plan from there was to go to Calgary because we had some jobs set up there. And then from Calgary, we were going to do that whole, like, Vancouver and then whatever else.
Down the coast.
Down the coast, yeah.
We were going to go Route 1 all the way down.
Yeah. So yeah, we just made a video about this, but we drove up to Glacier, and once we got there, I mean, we knew that it was going to be blazing in fires the whole time up there.
We knew it was going to be as bad as it was.
We
weren't even getting a charge. We weren't even getting charged on our solar panels. So we like had to just book it out of there.
Yeah. And
then we called to the national park in Banff, and they said it was bad there. And then we heard that Oregon and Washington were in forest fires, so we're like, all right, we're getting out.
Yeah.
And then, and then what else? Oh, and then like everything that happened in Northern California and like just north of LA. So we were like really happy that we ended up doing that because it was so bad. You should help homeless get jobs. Yeah, I know. I wish we could.
What do you do about buying things online?
A couple ways. So I've been having things shipped to my friend's house while I've been here. But if not, and this definitely isn't the easiest way, but this is what's... All right, you're getting too crazy now. This is what's worked for us, is we get things shipped to... If it has to come UPS, we get things shipped to a post office, and then we wait outside the post office for UPS to come, and then just take the package. Like, where it's like, hey, you have one of my packages, can I grab it? Yeah. And they just give it to us. So
it's kind of shady, but...
It works. If not, then you can just put... If it can be shipped USPS... Then you have them put general delivery at the top, and then the USPS will hold it for you. I'm sure you can do it with UPS too, but we just haven't ordered enough stuff to figure that out. So we learned it the hard way, honestly, because we ordered something that we thought was going to come USPS, came UPS, met him at the post office, and yeah.
Tacos!
Can you?
Someone said, I will feed you guys tomorrow for Taco Tuesday. Yes.
That's why I asked if we were going south at all.
Is your pup? What does it say?
Can you charge your batteries with your alternator in addition? No. So we can't charge our batteries with our alternator. We can only do it off the solar panels. So we were gonna. It's really easy to do to set that up. We honestly just ran out of time, and it was something that.
Sarah.
It was something that if we need to do, I could just do it on the road. It's not that hard. So we just waited and haven't had to yet. We got a little low on battery when we were sick because we were pumping all the fans in here, and like we had our inverter running and just like drained our batteries, and then it was cloudy for a few days. So, but we haven't ran out of power yet. It's gotten a little low, but that's about it. Do you ever eat meat, like ever?
Yeah, we did today.
We ate meat today. Yeah, we cheat sometimes. I mean, we eat probably like 90-95%.
And I know
plant-based.
Like a lot of you, like in the beginning, we really talked a lot about like veganism and that stuff. And don't get me wrong, like I highly support that. And it's not like we're, just like quitting and just being like, like screw it, like we're just gonna eat meat. It's just hard. It's hard being on the road. It's hard, getting that protein and not spending a bunch of money because, like we get this Bonza pasta and it's like 25 grams of protein per serving, but it's not cheap. So it's like every once in a while, like we do have to get meat. When we do get meat, it usually is, organic and no antibiotics and all that good stuff. Yeah. But
we also have cravings, and like we wanted tacos, so we had meat.
Right.
It's like when we have cravings for something, and it's been a while. We just do it. It's like we want to experiencing the food in each place we go is really important to us. So
yeah.
having.
How'd you know I was drinking wine?
It's red.
It's apple juice.
So having some
grape juice.
Having some tacos in Mexico made a lot of sense.
We are drinking a little bit of some Smokin' Loon Pinot Noir.
Don't spew protein powder day.
My friends and family think that van life and traveling is an unrealistic fantasy. What should I say to that?
It's not true.
No, it's not. It's not true at all. I mean.
So the question was, my friends and family think that van life and traveling is an unrealistic fantasy. What should I say to that? I think the fantasy is thinking you can do it forever.
Right.
I think you can do it for a very long time, and then you at least need to take breaks. And then obviously the whole question, and this is the question that everyone has, is how do you make money and support yourself? So if you can answer that question while, the good thing is your expenses are significantly decreased, like way less. Like we spend so much less money than we spent before. We did a video on that too, but we spend so much less money than we did before. Not paying rent, paying less for food, not paying for internet, and that your expenses are so much less. You just have to figure out how you can make money to support yourself.
Right. And if you truly want this, like if this is something that you're like, shit, like this is exactly what I want out of life.
You swore again, you're gonna upset the people.
It's fine. I don't give a shit. You will make it work, and if it's unfortunate when such close people in your life aren't supporting you, because that's all you want is for the people that you love the most and respect the most to support what you want to do. But if that's not the case, and it truly feels right to you that this is what you want, don't let that stop you. And I don't want to say like go prove them wrong. Like if this is something that you want to do, that should be all that matters. And if you make it work, then they'll come around and they'll realize like shit, you're right. And
you can do it, and you can do it depending on like. It all depends on like how much money you save and then what your plans are for traveling. If you can figure out a way to support yourself while you travel, then the only thing that's going to stop you is like your own mindset and your own, like just how you're feeling about it. Like there's certain times where Kaylee and I are just like, we're about ready to take a little break from this because it's like, especially when it's things like when we were sick and certain times it's just like having a shower every day or having a bathroom would be amazing. And that's why I think it's really important. And we're kind of coming up on our first break in about a month or two, where we're actually going to go back home for a little bit and then come back out to the bus. But I think planning breaks is very important if you do start van life. So you're gonna want that break, and then you'll appreciate van life so much more.
Someone asks, how far do you think and plan into the future? I don't.
We don't even know where we're gonna sleep tonight.
I mean, that's not true. That's not entirely true. Seize the day, live for the day. No. I think that's a very interesting question. I don't know. What do you think? What do you do?
On this trip, and this was part of it, is like we are taking everything day by day.
Yeah.
But we obviously we have like goals and like dreams and like things that we want to accomplish in life.
Yeah.
But on this trip specifically, and this is something we wanted to do, is we really take it day by day, and it's just like that feeling of freedom where really the only thing that's holding us down, and it's not even holding us down, but the only thing that we like have to kind of navigate around is these YouTube videos and these and this channel, where like this last video that we just put out, I spent like 4 days straight, like we spent 4 days straight making it and editing it, and that we didn't really travel around that much and like see that much those days. So yeah, these videos is kind of like the only thing like slowing us down, but everything else, it's like such a freeing feeling. So
yeah, it is. And I mean, it's not like we plan on doing this forever. We don't. And you know, we got a taste of it, and it's been absolutely incredible. But there's gonna be a time where we're gonna be like, all right, you know, like
on to the next thing.
On to the next thing. But it's like,
and we've talked about that too. Like, all right, what is next?
Right.
I don't know. I guess we like can't go into it too much yet, but like we've like talked about that. Like, what's our step from here? And like our plan isn't to just drive around the U.S. in a bus forever. Like there's more that we want to do. Right. There's more that we're gonna do.
Right. Absolutely.
So.
Yeah. All right. Let's see what else we got.
It's a lot more interesting doing a live stream because you can't be like, no, let's do that again. Turn the camera off.
Yeah, exactly. There's no edits here. How do you deal with your college loan debt? I feel mine is too intense to travel.
I mean, it's just about budgeting your money.
Yeah.
And
I didn't go to college, so well, I did, but I dropped out. I only did one semester, so yeah. I put that on hold. I'm gonna go back.
No, I mean, you went for something that you want to do, which was aesthetics, and you didn't go for like.
It wasn't really college. It was like a training.
Yeah, it just comes down to when you're budgeting your money, and then how much you have to. I mean, you have to figure that out, and you have to understand, you know, how much you need to have saved to go. And if you want to talk to us about that, I guess that's something that's more personal for the person. So I don't know, send us an email and we can talk to you on there. Maybe we'll we could like talk to you on the phone or something. I don't know. But that's really like such a person by person basis where people are gonna have different amounts of college loans or like any other expense that you've like, whether it's your car payment or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So I think you just have to factor that in to when you're figuring out how much money you need.
Anyone try to rob you yet? No, right?
We only had one really weird
incident. Yeah,
we were parked in
San Diego.
Yeah, at Ocean Beach, and some guy came up and knocked on our door at 2:30 in the morning, and I thought it was a cop because I thought they were going to kick us out of where we were parking. So the guy comes and knocks on our door, and turned out he just wanted to see the inside of the bus, and we were just like, no, you're not going to see the inside of the bus, and that was it. Whether he was trying to rob us or not, I don't think so. I honestly think he was just drunk. He had a beer in his hand.
Yeah.
and
I think it was like a Friday night or something, and like where we were, there were like fires on the beach. There was a bunch of people around. It was just whatever.
Yeah.
But no, we've never gotten robbed or anything like that.
And I know it can happen. I think where you park is really important. And there's been times where we had an idea where we want to park, and then we just bagged it because we didn't feel safe there.
Yeah.
So you just have to find safe places to park and safe places to camp. So. Any thoughts on traveling through the South at all? Yep, we'll be there.
Yeah.
We're not sure when, but our plan tomorrow is actually to go north. So we're gonna start driving north tomorrow, and we don't know where we're really gonna go yet, but we'll figure it out. Do people's rude comments ever cause rifts between you? Do you feel like there's too much negativity in the comments? I think what we've determined is like any video that we post, no matter what it is going to be negativity.
Yeah.
And I think what also feeds that is our whole thing with this channel is just being like super transparent. Like we've told you how much the bus costs, how much we spend on everything that we spend, and we share our opinions openly and honestly, and that kind of can feed some of that negativity. And I mean, we read every single comment, and if it's a negative one, we usually just don't really care. We don't even like delete it. Like it doesn't really
affect us.
It is what it is. It is what it is.
We knew that it was gonna come. Like we knew that there's good and there's bad people out there, and you just accept it. And like we just don't feed into it. Sometimes we don't even comment back because it's just like
we don't have anything to say.
Like, and we know they're just gonna hit us hit us back with something else. So it's like we're not gonna waste our time.
Yeah. I don't know. And I guess if like you are a person that writes negative comments on YouTube, it's just like, especially I think people on YouTube are just trying to share, like a lot of people are trying to share their opinions and their views, and I'll read it. And yeah, I don't know. I just think it's a waste of time.
Trolls be trolls.
People put a lot of effort and a lot of thought into our videos, and like I know we do anyway. And if you want to say something negative, like we really don't care. But I'll tell you like the positive ones, and like that's what like fuels us to keep going, and like it's super motivational for us that like people appreciate what we're doing. So thank you if you write nice things.
All right.
Can I read that one?
Yeah, Drew.
I can't do it. I can't do it. Oh my god. Look forward to seeing.
We have friends on here that are
having too much fun.
Messing with us.
You have to ignore the asshats. Yeah, it's very true. In the near future, there will be less sunlight for your solar panels and a lot of cold weather. How will you deal with that? We're planning on staying places that are warm, and I know that we'll get less sunlight, but we have a huge battery, so our battery's 250 amp hours, and how it's kind of mapped out is we can basically run our power for 3 days with no input of electricity. So when that time comes, and we're not planning on being somewhere cold in the winter. We're going to stay definitely in the southern part of the states, and that's when I think we're going to plan on going through the south, to like Texas, New Orleans, places like that, Arizona too. Can't wait to go there. Flagstaff. But I mean, we just have to monitor it, and like for example, these strip lights right here use so much electricity. So when we need to save power, like we don't use those. We use the spotlights, which use like a quarter of the electricity as the strip lights. You just have to monitor it, you know.
Yeah.
Don't run the inverter. Don't charge the laptops as much. And
yeah.
Anything else?
No.
Sorry, I wasn't trying to be negative about that shirt, but come on. Dude,
I thought you had a turkey on your shirt.
Listen, it's an Alan Stone t-shirt.
It actually does look like a turkey, bro.
It's an Alan Stone t-shirt. He's like one of my favorite musicians.
He's a really good musician. Go check him out.
Yeah, he's really good.
Alan Stone. Next time in Utah, you need to check out the bear's ears. Here in Utah, we need help defending bear's ears and grand staircase.
Oh, you should talk a little bit louder.
Can you please go there and help expose how stunning it is? Utah. I don't think we're going to go back to Utah anytime soon.
We want to go back to Zion.
Yeah.
Did you want to talk about Zion?
Yeah, it's just go.
Yeah,
you just have to go. It's unbelievable.
Zion National Park was one of our favorite spots, and you can see it in the last video that we put up. If you're ever in Utah, we highly recommend Zion National Park. It's
by far my favorite place we've been to thus far. What do you think?
It was our favorite. That whole strip, Bryce Canyon it was Arches National Park to Bryce Canyon to Zion was just unreal. That whole strip was so good.
It was amazing.
Someone said, "What would you do if you ever want to travel overseas? Would you just ferry the bus? Could you go?"
Oh, people keep asking how we met. We'll do that one after.
How would you travel? So I don't think we would bring the bus overseas. We've had talks about like doing trips, international trips, as like a dream of ours. Of like, I don't know. We just have talked about where like this channel could go, or like our travels could go. We talked about like making videos outside of like the bus in other countries, and we talked about doing something like a backpacking one. So I don't think we would ever pay to ship the bus somewhere. It's too expensive, too much of a headache.
But if, like, we always talk about how this would morph into something else. Like, if we decided we didn't want to live in a bus anymore, but we still wanted to make travel videos and get paid doing that, then we would most definitely, you know, travel the world if that's a possibility, and, you know, see where that takes us.
So you want to tell them how we met? You want to tell the story?
Jordan, how do we
This is going to make me sound so bad.
Why?
No, it's not. So, Kaylee, so I was a restaurant manager, and Kaylee was my server. But so we were opening a new restaurant, and the general manager of the restaurant, I was the assistant manager, the general manager hired her. She worked with me for 2 weeks, and then I didn't talk a word with her at the time. Like, we might have said like 3 things to each other, and then she quit. She was traveling an hour and 20 minutes to work every day, and then she quit, and I kept working in that restaurant as the manager. And then about 3 months later, we were at my college, which was UMass Amherst. I'm an alumni there, and we were at like the alumni weekend. She just happened to be there. I was there, and we just happened to bump into each other, and we like talked for a little bit, and then we went our own ways. And then
I reached out to him.
And then 2 months after that, so it was like 4 months after she was working for me.
Yeah.
Because I don't want people to be like, oh, you're like, it was your like employee, you know? Because it wasn't like that. It wasn't like,
I know.
You know. Anyway.
So I reached out to him on Facebook, and what happened was that the reason why I was working for him and traveling an hour and 20 minutes every day was
because she was in love with me. And she like saw me. And she was like, man.
I just spotted him from afar. No. One of my best friends, Kayla, and I decided to get the job together because they were hiring, and they were hiring a whole brand new staff because it was a brand new restaurant. So we're like, let's work together and friggin' travel, you know, mad far to go to work.
Sounds like a blast.
It sounds like a blast. Yeah. She stayed there for a while, so I ended up quitting, and then she worked there for a while. I totally forgot where I was going with this story. Why was I talking about Kayla?
Long story short, I don't know. Long story short, Kaylee worked for them for like 2 weeks and hated it, and then quit, and then we just happened to meet up.
Yeah.
We just happened to run into each other.
Yeah. So, I remember now. So I reached out to him on Facebook, and I said, hey, me, you, and Kayla should hang out, like, super cash, and because Kayla and him were kind of friends, and then, so the 3 of us ended up hanging out one night, and then Kayla left early, and then we ended up just hanging out together, and he played guitar for me, and
Story, right?
the rest is history.
Okay, let's see what else we got. I'm headed back to Santa Fe. Alright, I guess we should talk about this. Love you guys, but disappointed that you told people to skip Minnesota. I'm from Minnesota, and would love to see you. So, I guess we should address that, because I feel like that, like, part where we, like, drew a part of the map, and we were like, don't waste time here. Like, people are like, I live there, and it's so beautiful. All we were really trying to say is, if you're going on a road trip from the Northeast, we recommend you go to the West. We recommend you go to everything west of South Dakota, just because of how different everything is, how like dense like all these national parks are, and like there's just like so much to see around here. It's like pretty overwhelming, and we've absolutely loved it out here. And that's not to say like there aren't beautiful spots like in that region, but that was what we were kind of trying to say. And I understand like how some people could have been rubbed out. It could have like rubbed some people off the wrong way. And I'm sorry, but anything you want to say about that?
It was our opinion too. Like, and no, we didn't see all of Minnesota. I'm sure there are so many beautiful spots.
And so many of those places that around
I mean,
there.
there's spots in Massachusetts that we haven't even seen. Like, and that's where we're from. But it's like, it was just like we were saying, if you have a specific period of time that you're traveling in, like a small window of time, and you're from the Northeast, then this is what we recommend. Just because it's so different out here. Like Minnesota, we almost kind of felt like home. Like it was very, it kind of reminded me a little bit of Massachusetts.
Yeah, the seasonality and everything.
Yeah, and so like, That's all we were saying. Like, we weren't trying to be harsh. We weren't trying to hurt anybody's feelings or anything like that. But
And like usually road trips are very limited. It's like, I don't know, like 1 to 3 months, and you hit the road and then you're done. So we were basically saying, get out to the West Coast, see as much as you can see, and then go back.
Yeah.
And like pick a few spots along the way, but don't waste. And I don't want to say it again, but like don't waste a ton of time. Just like get to like this place because we think it's like so beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
And that's that. So it wasn't some workplace sexual harassment. No,
she chased him down afterwards. I guess.
What do you do for health insurance, and how much is it? So, I don't want to go into that.
Why?
I mean, we're both 25 and under, so it allows us to stay on our parents' health insurance. So
yeah.
Thanks, Obama. And
that's a reality of it. So if you're under 25, you're in the.
That's how it works.
You're doing good. You're doing good.
Does the pup like bus life? She does. So she does. Let me get her this. So for those of you who haven't seen her, this is our puppy. She's so cute, and she likes bus life, but she loves being outside. So she was a stray, and she was a stray in was it Idaho?
Idaho.
Yeah, she was a stray in Idaho for, they think, 8 months. Then a family found her for 2 months. Then they couldn't take care of her anymore, brought her to the rescue shelter, and then we got her. So
yeah,
she loves it though, because we bring her
to like the coolest spots.
We bring her to dog. It's weird seeing ourselves like a minute later.
I know.
So we bring her to like the coolest like dog parks. There's a dog beach right on the beach in San Diego, and she was like running all around that beach. And we bring her to dog parks all the time and all over the place. So
yeah, she's when we adopted her, they said that she was a year, but she has so much like puppiness to her that we think she's younger.
Yeah, she's so cute. What else we got? What do y'all do most for entertainment?
Netflix and chill.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen Stranger Things yet, go check that ish out.
Yeah, we'll like watch stuff. We watch YouTube a lot. We watch a lot. We basically watch like every van life video that comes through.
Yeah.
We love that, and then we watch Netflix.
Just like nightlife, like going out in town, and like you can find super cheap like shows or like whatever live music at a bar that's free. Yeah, I mean it kind of varies from where we are. Yeah. Let's see.
What do you mean by a break? Do you mean just staying in one place? I recommend like living. So the question is, what do you mean by a break from van life? I recommend living in a house for like some period of time. I guess I can't really give advice on this yet because we haven't done it, but I think that like trying to live in a vehicle 12 months of the year for as long as you can is like, it's draining. And I think just having some amount of time in a house, whether it's, I guess I can't say yet because we don't know, but I mean, we're going back home to Massachusetts for 3 weeks, and I guess we'll let you know if that's enough or not, or too much. But I think that there's certain things about living in a house that you miss, and
absolutely.
I think that break will give us a better appreciation for van life. Let's see
let's see her. All right, come on, people. Give us some more questions.
How much longer do you think we should do this for? I guess until they stop coming.
Yeah. Once our watching now number starts falling off.
Hey, you heard me.
Let's see.
Do you have any plans to get married or have kids? No.
Since you have been in the bus for a while, have you considered modifying it in a way, possibly like raising the bed for more storage under it? So it's actually pretty raised up. We have a bunch of storage room under there. We each have 3 bins that are about this high and like this long. I don't know if you can see, right? But we each have 3 of those, and then we have these like pretty decent sized baskets. We have another huge bin. We have another bin to keep our dirty laundry. There's a bunch of room under there, so we probably won't ever do that.
Wouldn't change the build in any way. And like it's weird saying this, but I think we got lucky in so many ways.
Yeah.
Like so many things just like fit so perfectly, and like we didn't like plan every single inch of the bus. It was kind of just like we just like went with it.
Right.
And I honestly think we got lucky in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
So I recommend you didn't do it like us, and you have a really detailed build. But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't change anything about the bus. I think how it's laid out for us is perfect. The one thing that kind of can be a little annoying is, so when the person that's not driving, or the person that isn't driving, sits on the couch with Lola, and it would kind of be nice to have another one facing forward. So the couch is like bolted into the floor, and it's like really locked in, and then we have seat belts in the couch. So it's supposed to act as like the passenger seat, but
Yeah.
I think having one up in the front, like facing forward, that would be the one other thing I would think about adding.
Sit.
And that's about it.
Sit. How old are you both?
I'm 25 and Kaylee's 22.
22.
Yep.
It's my birthday month. November 29th.
Going to get to Seattle, Washington. Yes, we will.
Yes.
We're going to get to Seattle, Washington.
November 20th.
Yeah. Our plan was to, so we're kind of, for those of you who don't know, we're like doing this effort to feed the homeless in every city we go to. And we fed 300 people so far, and our goal is to feed 1,000. And this whole thing like started with an idea of us to just feed a few people in Seattle, where we were making these bracelets, and I don't even know if I want to go into the whole thing, but basically we want to get to Seattle mostly to follow through with our effort to feed the homeless. That's really important to us because that's where this whole idea started. I guess if you want to know,
I'm sorry, I'm just reading these questions.
But yeah, we will be back in Seattle.
So hold on. Did you see that?
What?
Small space question.
No, I don't.
Who farts the most out of the three of you?
You do.
Definitely Lola.
You do.
100% Jordan. 100%.
No, it's definitely you. You should do eBay and Amazon.
Hey, no tea. Hello from cat people. From the cat people.
Oh yeah, I ordered a bracelet. Any word on when you'll be sending?
They're already sent. They should be to you within the next few days.
They're in the mail. So everyone who ordered a bracelet, and if you haven't gotten one yet, we had 150. We had 150 that were ordered, and we make them all by hand. And it was like so overwhelming. It took us a long time.
Yeah. So
we have to like paint each of them like so many times, and I think it's 6 times. We put 6 paints of coat on each side, so it's 12 coats, and then we hand etch them all, and then we seal them all, and basically it took us way too long to make the bracelets. I'm sorry it took a little bit longer, but they're all in the mail now, and they're all coming to you, and I hope you like them. What do you think? Should we do like 5 more minutes?
Yeah.
5 minutes?
This is fun. I don't want to stop. Oh, there was a question that I saw that I wanted to do. How do you have internet right now? So we just stream through our phone. So we use the hotspot on our phone. So when we have full service, we just turn our hotspot on, then connect to our laptop. Bada bing, bada boom.
That's it. It's pretty easy.
Would having an Etsy shop be a bad idea for van life because of shipping reasons?
No. You just go to a post office.
Yeah.
And then you have a friend or a family member who's willing to have the return address. Mm-hmm. And then that's it. It's that easy.
More wine, someone says. All right. Do you have air conditioning? We do. It's in the front of the bus. And we haven't really needed to use it. In San Diego, you would think it's super hot right now. It's like
60.
It's 60 degrees here. The only spot where it was like brutally hot for a few days was, where were we? It was Colorado. No, Colorado's freezing. I forget. I don't remember.
Montana was pretty hot.
No, it was like recently. It was like within the last.
San Diego. It was 100.
It was San Diego, but it was
100
like,
degrees.
It was the first few days that we were here.
And we were sick as dogs.
Yeah, so we spent a lot of our times actually at our friend's house because it was so hot and
we were dying from sickness.
Yeah, Lola was dying. She wasn't actually, but
yeah.
No, but I know a lot of you are concerned with Lola in the bus when it is hot. So if it is ever hot out, we always bring her with us wherever we're going. If we're going to the grocery store, one of us just stays outside of the grocery store holding her. The other one goes inside.
Yeah.
And then we also have like 3 different fans running in here at all times with all the windows down. And it's very, very spacious in here. So it's not like she's, stuck in a car in extremely warm weather. It's not like that at all.
That's a good one. So Christian said, what's the best way you guys connect with the van and bus life community? Or did you guys kind of stick to your own most of the time? So we haven't done like a meetup with someone yet, but we meet people all the time. So we've meeten people in every single kind of vehicle, whether it's a full school bus, other short buses, the Volkswagen buses, vans and Sprinter vans, and we usually just meet them while we're traveling. So these a lot of people camp on public land because it's free, and you can camp there legally.
Yeah.
So when we go there, there's usually a bunch of other people that are in vans or another kind of vehicle, and if you've converted your own vehicle, it's kind of like this weird thing where you just automatically go up and start talking to each other, and the conversations you have are unlike any conversation you ever hear. It's you talk more about how many amp hours you have for your battery and I don't know, just things about van life that they're really interesting conversations. It's interesting to hear other people's struggles and also what they love and what their intentions are.
Yeah.
We met people who were servers working for a chain restaurant, and they just travel around working for this one chain. It's really interesting, and a lot of the people are very like-minded, where they're just trying to seek this life that's more free than what they had.
Absolutely.
So yeah.
Let's see.
What's this one?
Oh, there's some up here. Who is the bigger Harry Potter fan?
Kaylee has all of her Harry Potter books on her bookshelf right now.
That's not true. I only have one.
So
Let's see. Who's the bigger over-exaggerator here?
So she's definitely the biggest Harry Potter fan.
No, not even. I mean, I haven't even actually. I haven't. I'm only on.
Hold on. You want to go to Disney World just for Harry Potter World?
It's a Universal Studios. Not
Whatever. Same thing.
No, I'm on book 2, and I have seen bits and pieces of the movies.
What are you doing to feed the homeless while on your journey? Journey is awesome, inspiring. We love what you're doing. Keep up the great work. We're making meals in our bus for them, and we're putting them in bags and handing them out. Yeah. And it's really that simple. They're all paid for by people watching this and people who've watched our videos and have donated. We're almost at, I think we're about 80% of the money raised that's been donated, which is mind-blowing to us.
Yeah.
So everyone who's donated, thank you. And, it was so overwhelming seeing these donations come in and seeing how people have supported this effort. So
absolutely.
Thank you. We've almost raised all of the money, and we'll basically turn everything off once we get to that number, but we're almost there, and now it just comes the effort, so we're 30% of the way there.
Yeah, so we didn't do San Diego just because we're heading out of here tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll come back.
But we just honestly haven't made the time yet for it. We have a bunch of friends out here, so we've just been spending a lot of time, and I felt like for a while we were just hustling, and these bracelets take a long ass time.
We were making videos and making bracelets the whole time we've been here.
Yeah. But once we're heading out of here, we're gonna go to Joshua Tree, and then we're shooting right up to LA. Probably one of the first things we do in LA is gonna be that, and we'll make a video for you guys to see what it's like and what all of this entails.
Yeah, but we want to come back to San Diego and do it at some point. Honestly, the time has just gotten away from us, and both of us are so ready to move on that we're gonna move on, and then we're gonna come back at some point and do it at some point.
Yeah.
But we're gonna
definitely.
Yeah.
Okay. How can we support you?
I don't know. Watch our videos, share them on Facebook, and write us nice emails. We haven't we talked about this a little. We just the fact that you're watching us right now, and the fact that you're watching our videos and subscribe to our videos is so much for us already that it just seems so unnatural to be can you give us some money too? Because why not? We're just not ready to do that. I don't know if we ever will be. I don't know. Right now, the other thing that you could do is donate to our effort to feed the homeless, and that's it. That's kind of what we're doing.
The Patreon. So all those links and everything. If you just go to one of our videos, they're in all.
No, they should be in the description down below.
Oh, okay. Okay, so they're in this video. This video here.
Yeah. So look in the description down below, and all the links are there.
Awesome.
You want to stop it? I think we should stop at 9. I think an hour live stream's pretty long.
Has it been an hour?
Yeah. See, 8:56.
Alright, let's see.
All right, here we go. We're gonna do 5 more minutes, and then we're going to finish this bottle of wine, and then take Lola for a walk.
Alright, so hit us with some more questions. You have 5 minutes. 5 minutes. Let's see.
Go scroll back up.
Swear jar.
What's the biggest setback you've had on the trip? Something that was totally unexpected, but put a bump in the road. What was the biggest setback of the trip? We've been so freaking lucky.
We haven't really had anything else.
Yeah, mechanically we had one hose come out, detach, which cost $70 to fix when we were in Montana. You know what? I would guess. Do you want to say the calculator? I would say alright, so the biggest setback is. Do you want to talk about it?
Yeah. So, during this whole trip, I've been seeing an upper cervical chiropractor. If you've never heard of it, it's just a chiropractor that specializes in the upper spine. And it came totally unexpected. I was having a lot of weird symptoms and aches and pains and neck pain that slowly kind of came on during the beginning of the trip. And then
we should do quick so we can do rapid fire for these last questions.
What do you say?
Maybe we should do it quick so we can do rapid fire for these last questions.
Okay. So long story short, when we were in Montana, I ended up seeing a chiropractor, and that chiropractor told me to see an upper cervical chiropractor. So when we went to Idaho, we saw somebody there in Boise, and essentially I've been told from multiple doctors along the way that I have to go once a week to maintain this.
So this is their brain, and then this is their 2 spine. It's two
whatever they're called.
Yeah, this is her top 2
vertebrae.
The top one is this.
Yeah.
And pushes, and then so it's messing with the signal of her brain stem.
Yeah.
And causing all these symptoms. Yeah. So very simply put, so we've been having to see a chiropractor along the way. Yeah. But it brought us to Boise, which Boise is such a beautiful place. It's brought us to other places.
Right.
So that's kind of the one step back.
Yeah.
Let me scroll back down here. If you wanted to pick one moment that sticks out the most, even just a frame of a video, what moment is that?
As in a good or a bad?
It's got to be a good.
Okay.
Which one for you?
Man, there's so many. I want to say Zion, just because...
So we watched a sunrise in Zion.
Yeah.
Over this massive canyon. And that was unreal.
Yeah,
I was going to say that.
Yeah. What else? I mean... I don't know.
That's the one.
Yeah. I think so.
Yeah.
I think so.
We watched the sunrise in Zion, and that was unbelievable. Bryce Canyon was also unbelievable.
Yeah.
That was such a cool sight.
It is.
So.
Absolutely.
Yeah, those 2.
Has yoga helped the spine issue? Absolutely.
Yeah.
No, I'm just gonna keep it at that.
And someone said it could be from a thin mattress. We have a sweet memory foam mattress.
It was actually the mattress I brought with me from home.
Yeah.
So I know it's not that.
Are you still planning to visit your Patreons? Yes. I'm gonna post something on Patreon right after this because we've been meaning to do that, but we've been in San Diego the whole time, and we've been sick, then making videos and making nomad bands. But we want to meet as many Patreons as possible, and we're putting something on Patreon right after this. So yes, more live streams in the future. I guess so.
Totally. Totally.
I don't know if we're that good at them.
Yeah, why not? We'll get better.
Okay.
It's fun. Yes, we do plan on visiting Yosemite eventually.
I guess we'll do like 2 more.
Vegan recipes?
Yeah. So are you going to do more vegan recipes?
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I'm working on that now.
A lot of that was like Kaylee's baby because she
Yeah.
cooks most of the meals. I love cooking too. I was in the restaurant industry, but
I'm just better, so.
yeah, she's pretty good.
Yeah, but they're coming. They're coming.
Yeah, and we want to put them up on our website, and we had this whole idea of like having all these vegan recipes, but like to put something together that like we are proud of and that looks good takes so much time, and it's like we've like taken on all these different things that things kind of been just like falling down, and we're trying to like bring it all back in now.
Yeah, absolutely.
So.
Absolutely. Let's see here. I wish there was a way that we could like
Just see the questions?
no, like tune into you guys and like see your like facial reactions and like communicate by just with not just like questions and answers.
I guess this will be the last one. This one is from Emma. What if you're going solo but don't want to be alone all the time for safety and comfort reasons? Like, would it be a good idea to bring along a friend or someone or for some of your travels? Please answer. Yes. So, if you're gonna what I'd say is if you're gonna bring a friend, they have to be a really good friend, or else like if you're stuck in a space with someone, like maybe we could show you our space before we go. So like if you're like you can see that's our bed. This is where we're sitting with Lola, and then the driver's seat is right here. So if you're stuck in a space like that with someone that you don't know how like good of a friend you are, or they just basically have to be like a really good friend. The one benefit I would say of traveling alone is you will meet so many people because you're going to put yourself in situations to meet people because you're going to want to meet people.
Right.
Where Kaylee and I are like very comfortable together, so there's times that we just we're cool just like hanging out in the bus and and just like being with each other because we love being together. I mean, there's plenty of times that we get out too, but if you're going alone, you will meet a lot of people. I think you'd meet even more people than if you were traveling with someone else because you're going to be looking for like that interaction and to meet new people.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, you want to say that that's it?
So that's about it.
That's about it. Yes, that's all. That's all we got. I don't know if we're very good at this, but I guess we'll do another one of these at some point.
Yeah.
And we are going northeast now. We're heading out. We were gonna head out of here tonight, but we're half a bottle into this fine Pinot Noir, and we're going to drink the rest of it and then head out. But I don't know. We love you guys, and we are like, I don't know. We're just like so surprised with kind of everything that's going on, from like the subscribers to the views to the fundraising to everything. And it's definitely changed this trip for us in a way that we never thought was going to happen. So
definitely.
Thank you guys. And
that's about it.
All right.
No, thank you guys so much. We love you. We'll definitely do one of these again soon for sure. And yeah, peace and love.
Bye. Bye, guys. Mwah. Mwah. How do you stop this thing?